Christmas and the start of Hanukkah are both 2 days away, and the holiday travel rush is heading down the home stretch. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. All weekend, airline passengers have been contending with traffic, long lines, and delayed and canceled flights due to a low cloud ceiling and dense fog.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is live at the San Diego International Airport with how things are looking there tonight. Richard.
And Carlo and Marcella, I have some good news right now here at the airport. Things are going relatively smoothly, but as you mentioned, that was not the case here over the weekend, with heavy fog leading to dozens and dozens of cancellations and also quite a few delays and cancellations. Some passengers, though, who were supposed to fly out today experienced the domino effect of all those delays and cancellations from over the weekend. They had some flights booked for this morning, and they were rebooked this afternoon, like this one family we spoke to from North Park.
Delays, constant delays, and we weren't going to make our connections.
That all of the planes got canceled last night because of the fog or something, so they didn't let us go on.
And take a look at that fog from over the past few days, which actually started on Thursday night and remained just as intense here in San Diego throughout the weekend. Fog that unfortunately forced those delays, dozens and dozens of delays, as well as many cancellations, leading to some passengers like those you just heard from being bumped from their flights and rebooked later this afternoon. Now, so far today, though, for the most part, smooth sailing if you're coming to the airport. Now, as you would expect, traffic leading up to the airport on Harbor Drive is pretty heavy, and keep in mind, there is still construction going on Terminal 1, but right now there are no cancellations on the big board. That's the really good news. There are a handful of delayed departures. Some arriving flights actually are coming in earlier than expected. So as always, it's a good idea to check your flight status online before coming, especially if you're coming here to pick up a loved one for the holiday season. Also a good idea, arrive here early. That's something that Marcus Cheney, who's going home to Kansas City, says that he always does.
They'll say a couple hours. You just want to be prepared. It's nothing wrong with being prepared. Yeah. So I say be prepared. Just get here a couple hours early to make sure everything goes right. You can get checked in, and so you won't miss your flight.
And keep in mind, it never hurts to give yourself more than a couple hours, more than 3 hours if you're on an international flight. Now, keep in mind, even though things seem relatively calm here right now, the airport is expecting some 80,000 passengers coming and going through the airport every day through the holiday season, with a total of 1.3 million passengers throughout the total season. Carlo and Marcella?
Thank you, Richard. Things looking good out there.
Yeah.
Meantime, high surf is hitting the California coast, and in Northern California, huge waves caused a partial collapse of the Santa Cruz Wharf.
A 150-foot section at the end of the pier broke away at about 12:45 this afternoon as a big storm moved into the Bay Area. Lifeguards had to pull 2 people from the water, and debris could be seen floating among the rough waters. A public restroom washed ashore nearby. Santa Cruz's mayor says the wharf is in the middle of a $4 million renovation after last winter's destructive storms. And that swell is generating some big waves here in San Diego, too.
Yeah, up and down the coast, meteorologist Sean Stiles, who enjoys a big wave or two himself, in for Carlene. What's happening right now? These a little too big, or
and I've got a torn ligament in my left elbow.
There you go. So you don't do those at less than 100%.
Yeah, no, you don't, because you put the lifeguards in risk. They've got to come and get you. I can duck dive under about 6 to 8 feet, but 10 to 12 feet, forget it. I'm not gonna deal with it. A quick look outside is pretty good here. We've got ourselves some surf here in San Diego as well. Waves running 4 to 6 feet with some 8 to 10 foot sets. Depending on which beach you were at, the waves were a lot bigger. This is in and around the Windansea Beach area, and the waves running about 4 to 5 feet with the 8-foot sets rolling through now and then. Up in the North County, Swami's was reporting those 10-foot face heights, and they will continue to see those waves as a surf advisory is in place here in San Diego. This swell that's hitting them up in Santa Cruz, the same swell here in Southern California. A quick look outside, and we've got ourselves, well, at least reasonable amount of visibility out there, about 5 miles right now. The high surf advisory stays in play until 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and we also trade that for a wind advisory over the mountain passes as this storm comes in. A 61% chance of rain in the afternoon tomorrow into Wednesday morning, and then we see some clearing. We keep the weather impact in place along the coastline for those big waves. And then the rain, it will affect you on Tuesday, but things looking good on Wednesday, Christmas morning. I'll have more in just a bit.
Thanks so much, Sean. Victor Kravaric, the son of the former chair of San Diego's Republican Party, received his sentence today after pleading guilty to possessing an illegal firearm.
CBS 8's Steve Price is live downtown with what happened in court today and what his father, Tony Kravaric, had to say outside of court tonight. Steve.
Well, Victor Kravaric could have been sent to prison for 3 years, but instead he received probation today in court. The judge talked about why he decided to go easy on the 24-year-old.
In this matter, he pled guilty to count 1, possession of an assault weapon.
Victor Kravaric tried to use his attorney to hide from our camera during today's sentencing. Kavaric's home was raided by members of the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force in September. According to a gun violence emergency protective order obtained by CBS 8, the 24-year-old made threats of violence through social media towards LGBTQ and other races, was in possession of illegal firearms, and previously had possession of explosives.
He has expressed remorse for his conduct.
Judge Dwayne Mooring said he considered Kavaric's lack of a criminal history and letters from the community before making his decision on a sentence. He could have sent him to prison for up to 3 years under a felony, but decided not to do that.
After considering the nature of the offense, the defendant, and the public interest, the court is going to punish him pursuant to Penal Code Section 17B as a misdemeanor.
Kravaric is the son of Tony Kravaric, who served as the chair of San Diego's Republican Party for 14 years. He spoke to us after court.
We appreciate the judge separating the facts from the rhetoric that's been going on here, and we're pleased to put this misdemeanor behind us.
Tony Kravaric then went on to blast the media for even showing up to cover his son's case.
We all know that if he were not my son, none of you would be here. And so with that, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
That said, it was the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. I mean, that's, anytime they're involved, the media's involved, regardless of who it is. No comment?
Do you accept probation pursuant to these terms? Yes, Your Honor.
Victor Kravaric will not serve any jail time as long as he doesn't violate the law over the next year. He also had to agree not to own a firearm or ammunition for a year and agree to a fourth waiver, meaning officers can search him at any time without a warrant. And the judge also said that gun will be destroyed, and he said other items that were taken during the search can be returned to the family. Marcella?
Thanks so much, Steve Price, reporting live outside the downtown courthouse. Appreciate that update. Several people are out of their home tonight after it was damaged by fire. Chopper 8 was over South 38th Street in Southcrest this afternoon. San Diego Fire Rescue says the fire broke out just after 12 and was confined to one room. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but 6 adults, a child, 3 dogs, and 10 cats were all displaced and will be assisted by the Red Cross.
New tonight, Landmark Cinemas in Hillcrest will soon be closing doors for good after 3 decades of screening independent films. CBS 8's Brian White tells us when the credits will roll for the last time at this local institution and the impact it will have on the community.
Yeah, the Landmark Cinema Theater here on 5th Avenue has been a staple for decades. It's been a place where people could come and watch independent films up on the big screen, but unfortunately, it seems that's all coming to an end.
Very sad. I have great memories of coming to this theater. It just makes me sad.
Moviegoers are disappointed to hear the news. One woman I talked with did not want to go on camera, but she told me she's getting in one last flick.
You know, gonna get the popcorn and the soda and recline my seat and try not to be sad.
At the new Landmark 5-plex theaters in Hillcrest.
This is video from our CBS 8 archives when the theaters opened in 1991. And even back then, it was a place where you could see indie films off the beaten path.
A lot of the films that play at this theater, or at least used to, you couldn't see at the big multiplexes out in the suburbs. And those kind of unique films is part of what Hillcrest is about, uniqueness and creativity.
The Hillcrest Theater's last day of operation was reportedly January 5th, but on their website there are no movie listings beyond this Thursday. I reached out to Landmark's corporate offices for clarification and have not heard back.
It's really unfortunate, but it is kind of predictable. The movie industry and theaters are really struggling.
Benjamin Nichols is executive director for the Hillcrest Business Association. He says the theater's been an anchor here at the Village Hillcrest Plaza, but this closure is a sign of the times.
The big blockbusters, maybe you go out to the movie theaters for that. But with these unique kind of indie kind of movies, that was Landmark's bread and butter, people are opting to watch those at home.
He says Hillcrest is going through a transformation. With that, the times are changing.
We are seeing new infrastructure. We are seeing new buildings. We're seeing a lot of change in Hillcrest, and change sometimes means that the old has to pass away for the new to come up.
The building is owned by Suncoast Properties, and so far there's no word on any new potential tenant here. In Hillcrest, Brian White, CBS 8.
Change is inevitable, but it doesn't always feel good, right?
No, it's been such a big landmark. I mean, you know,